It has been over a year since RO3 came out with their first trailer, but the latter part of the video has left a lasting impression. Rediscover the beauty and emotions of the past. RO as it was meant to be. While people have their own opinions about what those lines truly mean, let's look at what RO3 has done well in terms of translating the charm of RO1 into a more modern game. Hello everyone, my name is Little Fatty, but you can call me LF. I will be your man with a master plan when it comes to RPGs, and welcome to Enduins. Aesthetically, this version is the closest any RO iteration has come to modernizing the old school R1 graphics, but without losing a big chunk of its identity from its nostalgic style. There have been huge improvements on the character sprites compared to the initial Pioneer testing a year ago. It probably helps that their art team was very open to taking criticism in their own community Discord. They even went as far as responding to people's queries about their art direction and making changes based on it. One thing they have consistently done well with is the game's graphical fidelity, which is still top-notch even by today's standards. You'll see a lot of familiar headgear with impressive textures and details. Some of them, like the classic majestic goat, have added aura-like effects to really seal the deal on it being a rare headpiece. Not only have they improved the most basic attack animations from novice to first job classes, but they've also evolved them from beyond the static animations from way back then. This allows each class to have a distinct visual and fighting style fitting its class identity, a marked improvement from the combat we saw in the initial Pioneer testing. As fluid as the combat is, the walking animation still leaves a lot to be desired. To the majority of players, it feels a little too floaty and sluggish. It seems like they added most, if not all, of the mobility to the class skills. Combat time is still present, auto combat is still available, and most of the leveling experience is similar to mobile iterations like Ragnarok Origin or Ragnarok Eternal Love. What is satisfying about the current progression is that the baseline for certain stats, attack speed for example, has been raised by quite a bit. But pumping the stat still visibly makes your attack animations quicker. Little changes like this prevent the early grind from feeling too much like a slog. Early on, you get a node system that slowly directs your stat progress towards the build that you want. Even leveling a priest was pretty entertaining since it gave you the option to be a ranged auto attacker, but with an extra twist. Your auto attacks can automatically trigger Magnus Exorcismus, more commonly known as ME. This is a trend you can see in other classes as well, which tells us that the developers are very aware of how satisfying proc builds can be. This alleviates the general progression feel RO1 used to have, where the first half of the leveling phase felt like a quagmire. What about the endgame? What does it look like? Well, in terms of endgame gear, they seem to have opted for a seasonal ARPG-esque itemization with your current equipment sets. They further determine which skill of yours gets empowered, not just number-wise, but everything else, including visuals, range, area of effects, and mobility. PvE-wise, they have added on to the initial 10-man raids we did before. They now feature a boss rush mode that makes the classic MVPs have a bit more to them than just a generic tank and spank. Small scale PvP was a bit buggy but present and something to look forward to as well. The highlight still goes to the Guild League and War of Imperium GVGs. The Guild League is a capture the flag mode where taking one of the 3 elemental nodes garners points for your guild. A boss also spawns during the match where each guild must contest it and get the last hit on it. The person who gets the last hit will get a beam of light and a flag on their character indicating that they are the flag carrier. That person then must take it to one of the elemental nodes that their guild owns to earn massive points. Dying, however, transfers the flag to the person on the enemy guild that got the last hit on the previous flag carrier. The War of Imperium, Ragnarok Online's most iconic guild war, has been transformed so only 2 guilds get to duke it out at a time. It features 3 phases for the fight as a whole. The first phase being the fight for the primary wall, where the attackers try to either break down the main gate or get their siege tower safely to the wall, and then they can climb in. The defending guild will have access to multiple types of artillery during this time. They can also choose to jump down from the castle walls if they intend to take the fight outside. The second phase features the secondary wall inside the castle grounds, where the intended goal is to kill the MVPs guarding the multiple entrances to the Imperium room. Once you get past that, the third and final phase is in the Imperium room itself. The attacking guild must capture the respawn point right outside the inner castle gates and treat it as their launchpad to assault the Imperium itself. If the defending guild feels like they have their backs against the wall, they can activate the Castle Guardian to help them defend. And all of this is already good, but there is one piece of mass GVG content that is yet to be revealed in a video, and from the looks of it, it's going to feature 1k versus 1k, and the fight isn't only for the big guilds, but even the smaller guilds can partake by completing side objectives. This has been teased in a slideshow that they presented in Indonesia. Curious as to what it's gonna look like? Then you should definitely click that subscribe button and that notification bell. Guild and community systems are still pretty bare bones, but recent queries indicate that they are looking at ensuring that community leaders have the tools they need to better lead their guilds, hopefully avoiding a lot of the unnecessary drama like Ragnarok Origins' lack of an audit log for their guild auctions, for example. The stubbornness in refusing to add such features has seen a lot of guilds collapse and communities destroyed, resulting in either community leaders or members to quit the game, all because of loot drama. If RO3 learns from its predecessors' mistakes, at least on this end, then communities would surely flourish. And there are other things that we can't quite comment on, like the monetization. We can't quite cover it yet, and the rest of the endgame, since the former has not been mentioned yet, and we've only seen a glimpse of the endgame dungeons and PvP, but what we've seen so far has been good. How it all pans out in a year from now, when it launches, we'll have to observe in the subsequent playtests. Obviously, monetization will be a huge factor in whether RO3 will be successful. When we find out more information, we'll be sure to keep you updated. Until then, I'll see you guys in the next video. Make sure you subscribe.